We're paying 4 places instead of 3 in the Cheltenham Gold Cup on Friday at the festival. Paddy Power!
So welcome to the Road to Cheltenham wrap on day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival 2022. So much to talk about here with Ruby. Let's start with Allaho, shall we?
Yeah.
Who has become the first horse since Alberta's run to win 2 Ryanair chases, and he did so in a similar-ish style to last time.
Yeah, on slightly slower ground, so maybe it was never going to be as breathtaking, and he didn't have a min to take him on. Last year he had, so this year he had to go and make his own pace. I was actually happy to see him a little on edge beforehand. Kind of made him kind of knowing that, well, at least he'll go forward for Paul. But he jumped soundly throughout. He set a really good tempo, and he had horses very tired behind him. I think Conflated took a tired fall. Eldorado Allen was the one that followed him, and ultimately couldn't keep going with him. But look, he's a very, very good horse at that distance.
Yes. And I was asking afterwards, Richard Thompson whether they might ever be tempted to go for a Gold Cup, because that's always asked about Allaho. He's tried those trips before. He ran really well in an RSA as it was then. But because he was initially saying, let's go for 3 Ryanairs, but he didn't completely write it off, the idea.
No, but then when you look back, it's only, well, it's, what is it now, 14 months ago, he was a poor fourth to a Plutar in a Savage chase at Leopardstown. So like, it's not like it's the right or the his novice season was the last time we tried it. It has been tried with him since, and even after he won last year's Ryanair, Willie went to experiment further and went down to 2 miles
Yes,
with him,
that's right.
and that didn't work either.
Yes.
So avenues have been explored with him. He hasn't been pigeonholed in, and we're happy here and safe here. The distances have been explored. People are saying maybe a King George. There's 3 2.5 mile grade ones. One is the John Durkin. It could go to Ascot 2.5 maybe.
Yes.
If the Ryanair and then you have Aintree. But the John Durkin comes probably too close to the King George, and I imagine he'll be aimed at another John Durkin.
And it would be something to win 3 Ryanairs and become the first horse to do so. Let's start with that was the up to Paul Townend's day. Let's start with the down, shall we? Galoping Champ was about to put up a monstrous performance, winning the Turner's Novices Chase. Had Bob Ollinger beaten by about 3 outs. And he came to the last and
didn't put his feet out. It's as simple as that. Paul Townend put him in the right place to take off. It took off, got the right height. Didn't get overly high in front or behind. His trajectory over jump was perfect, but Paul Townend can't do anything about where Galloping Champ puts his feet to land. The horse has to put them out, and Galloping Champ didn't flex his joint quick enough and get his feet out to land. Landed on his toe and crumpled. That happens. That's sport. It's unfortunate, but it was his jumping that had won him the race.
Yes, yeah, it absolutely was, because he jumped really well. He ballooned a few in the early stages, but then he really warmed up and found his stride.
6 out, 5 out, 4 out. When you're climbing the hill, he put Bob Ollinger to the sword. Bob missed 6, 5, and then as they began to descend, Bob Ollinger missed again. It was just that pattern of the race, that part of the race, those 3 fences where Galopin Champ was amazing. It's where he had won himself the race.
Yes.
Ultimately, to go and fall, people will say, oh, well, sure he fell. Yeah, we know he fell. But I think he was in the right race, and he was going to do what Willie Mullins and plenty of people in Close Sutton thought he would do.
I think it was going to be an extraordinary performance. Afterwards, Willie was musing, what, maybe 2 miles?
Yeah, you could. I don't know. I know he won over 3 over hurdles last year when he beat Statler, but he just looks a way faster horse over fences. Maybe he will.
Bob Ollinger, of course, actually won the race. Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore afterwards. I mean, obviously they were delighted to be in the winners' enclosure, but their competitors, their sports people, they didn't really want to win it that way.
No, you got a present of it, but someone has to take the present. And the other side of the coin is, I can't remember now what Busselton is rated.
No, I can't, but it's a strong performance. It's very strong.
He beat Busselton 40 lengths.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no arguing with it.
No arguing with it.
And he's still a novice as well. That was only his 3rd start over fences. If anything, I felt like he might be going up in trip next season. And I think they've still got a top-class chaser, absolutely top-class chaser on their
Have we not argued that in the past?
Yeah, we have. We have argued that in the past.
Are you listening now, Henry?
Afterwards, also, Henry said, I never thought I'd ever see a horse do something like that to Bob Ollinger. He just didn't believe that.
We told you, Henry.
I suppose we can rub it in as he has actually won it. Let's talk about Flooring Porter. You know how I was saying I've never seen such a rock star reception for Sapa Silvega and Patrick Mullins yesterday? Well, scrap that, because we saw the Flooring Porter syndicate carrying Danny Mullins around on their shoulders afterwards. It was amazing.
It was wonderful television, and the atmosphere for it was amazing, even to watch them beforehand backing them, and then to watch the reception afterwards. But for a purist to watch the ride was also amazing. I thought he was brilliant on him.
It's amazingly well executed,
Yeah.
but I'll let you describe it.
It was. I mean, I know there's a tricky horse, Classical Dream. I imagine Willie had kind of elected to drop him in, so they sat in. Danny was in front. The time diffraction is right all the way. He doesn't have a stopwatch. You're not looking up at a screen to read the clock either. You have to do it off your own mind, your own head, your own judgment. But to have the courage at the top of the hill to rack and stack the stairs hurdle field, slowed them down to 2 out, jumped it, and when he landed after staying it, then not to increase. And they're all waiting for him to go, and he doesn't go until he gets off the bend, and then he starts to build it, and he has a tendency, he could go left, he could go right, he goes both ways, and even at the back of the last when he went left, Danny, quick as a flash, left hand over onto the right rein, gets him straight, and he scoots away to win. It was a really well executed ride.
Is it the ride of the festival so far for you?
Him or Derek Fox and Corey Gramler.
Yeah.
You can't forget Derek Fox's ride. Like, I know plenty of people would have given up on Corey Gramler at the back of the second. I thought they were two completely different rides, but two very good rides.
And Gavin Cromwell as well, the way he brings his horses, select string to the festival, and he's got this back-to-back winner of the Stayers Hurdle who was so calm beforehand as well. The crowds, we were all worried about that. He didn't turn a hair. No, he was really well behaved. Classical Dream got a bit on edge. Paisley Park behaved himself, but Danny just went too slow for the strong stairs. Paisley Park, Time Hill, those horses, I know they're off for a long way out, but they went too slow early. Danny stacked them all up. It was an utterly brilliant ride. Later on in the day, we had Cool Cody, who is a firm Cheltenham favourite, winning the plate for Evan Williams and Adam Wedge. That was superb to see. Adam said that when he got cut up on the bend, that just made Cool Cody angry, and clearly you don't want to make Cool Cody angry. Adam Wedge angry as well. You can see that on television. But Brendan Powell, I think he was perfectly right. He was after getting by Adam Wedge and he was going in. Adam hadn't the horse to stay there, and Brendan got over onto the rail and closed the door. Adam had to swing out around, but it fired Cool Cody up. Great jump at 2 out, and he was always going to win from there. He's a fantastic 11-year-old. It would just be amazing to be Wayne Clifford and owning that horse. I think he's a superb horse. Second race, we had a steward's inquiry, and it upset Hughie Morrison. He didn't think that there should have been one. It was when Third Wind, ridden by Tom O'Brien, and Alaphilippe, ridden by Paddy Brennan, one went one way, the other went the other way. In the end, the stewards had a good look at it, and the result stood. Do you think that was right? Yeah, I think they both drifted in one direction, I thought. They both drifted off to the right. I thought the winner followed the runner-up, but they did drift. So I think there should have been a steward's inquiry. But Hughie has got beef with the BHA, so he was not happy in the winner's enclosure, waiting to hear. Imagine how he'd have felt if he finished second. Third Wind, who's finished fourth in the race before, managed to win it. That was in the Per Temps Network final. The Mares Hurdle, we should mention the Mares Hurdle. Le Envoy continuing her unbeaten record. Johnny Burke riding for Harry Fry in the colours of the Noel Feely syndicate. I know, another huge reception. Is she the first British winner of that Mares Hurdle? I think she is as well. Oh no, she isn't. The first one was British. Was it? Yeah, Donald McCain, wasn't it? No, that was... no, that was the other Mares. The novice one. No, you're right, it is the first British one. But look, at a tough performance. She was pretty much not far off the pace all the way. A lot of those that came to Challenger came from well behind her, but she kept at it well for Johnny Burke. And a big win for the Noel Feely syndicate and Harry Fry, and actually to watch Harry Fry on the big screen, that was nearly entertainment itself. It really was. You rarely see him show such emotional, and we really did see it. And of course that was the race in which Noel Feely so emotionally retired. Well, announced his retirement. Exactly, after he won on Eglantine de Sceaux. Final race was won by Chambard for Venetia Williams, with Lucy Turner gaining her first ever festival winner on board. It was a first and third for Venetia. She's having a cracking week. Fabulous festival, and all her horses are running really well. Not just obviously Lampressa winning, but other horses have really run well. I thought Funambulus and Vola ran well. But horses running really well. Her horses have been in great form all week, and a nice winner for Lucy. It was super. She got great enjoyment out of it too. She really did, and Venetia has trusted her with some really serious horses this season. She clearly rates her riding. Yeah, she does, and she got her chance on a 40-to-1 shot, and she delivered. It was magic to see. 10 British winners, 11 Irish winners. That route branch, what did you do? Route and branch review. Worked. Yeah. Amazing. Even before it was started. But we're still in with the shout. We'll find out what happens on day 4. Join us for that wrap tomorrow.
We're paying 4 places instead of 3 in the Cheltenham Gold Cup on Friday at the festival. Paddy Power.